Okay, so today we are going to be mixing paint, and we're going to be using primary colors and secondary colors. So the primaries are the main colors, so that's red, blue, and yellow. So without those colors, you're not going to get anything else. Then we're going to mix two of the primaries together, like red and blue, and get our violet, red and yellow to get our orange, and yellow and blue to get our green, okay? So I'll have this up and around as a reminder. And then hopefully we will get to painting the mountains and then the water, but I'm gonna hold off on showing you how to do that until we have somebody who's ready, okay? And then our I can statement today, it says, today I will learn about color so that I can use primary, red, yellow, and blue colors to mix the secondary colors, which is the orange, green, and violet, okay? So I've already started mine. So, little helpful hint. When I painted the red here, I also painted the boat red, so you don't have to clean out your brush as many times. Now, what I want you to notice on mine, I did the primaries, and then I mixed the secondaries. This example I kind of like a little bit better because they go in the rainbow order. So they have the primary, skip, primary, skip, primary. Okay, that way they knew that they took these two primary colors, red and yellow, to make the orange house, these two primary colors, yellow and blue, to make the greenhouse, and then blue and red to make the violet house. So I like the rainbow order, but you can do it however you want, okay? So I first painted the red and then the red boat. Then I went into the yellow after I cleaned out my brush and then painted the yellow boat. I will tell you this yellow paint's super weak, so you may have to do a second coat or not. It's up to you. Then I cleaned out my brush, went to the blue, painted the blue boat too, and then I did my color mixing. So to make my orange, I used the red and yellow. I will warn you, yellow's weak, so I use mostly yellow and just a little bit of red to get my orange, okay? And then next, I mix my secondary color green, which is yellow and blue. So once again, yellow's weak, so mostly yellow and just a little bit of blue to get my green. Now I'm gonna do my last one, which is using the primary colors red and blue to get violet. So in this little tray, you're gonna do your mixing. Now, I will tell you, if it gets messy, if you wanna get a separate paper towel for mixing, you can totally do that. So I'm gonna make a violet. So I'm gonna take red, scoop off a little red, and blue, scoop out a little bit of blue. Now, if you have a little more red than blue, it's gonna be more raspberry. If you have more blue than red, it's gonna look like more of a plum. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more red on mine. So I just add a little bit at a time, and I'm just mixing in a small area. Now, if I were to paint with this, it's gonna be really dark, dark, dark. So I also give you some white. So white mixed in with the violet will kind of tone it down a little bit and make the violet not so dark and a little more obvious. Oopsie, sorry. So then I'm gonna paint this last house with my violet. And if I wanted it to be a lighter violet, I just need more white. And notice I'm not going to the water because I'm using the same color. The only time you go to the water to clean out your brush is when you are switching colors. Okay, I'm going to go in there, kind of go slow around the edge and a little faster in the middle. Oh boy, I made just enough. Okay, so got my violet. So now I'm finished with my houses and my boats because I have 3 primary, 3 secondary, and my boats are painted. So that's as far as I want you to get today. Now I'm gonna show you how to do the mountains. There's a couple ways you can do it. So one way is you can have the same kind of violet color and add more white to make them light. You can also do gray. So I'm going to clean out my brush. So rinsing with my water and drying it over here, okay? Now, to make my color, and I'm doing this on here, but you'll do this on the table, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to mix on this little paper, that little paper towel. So I've got a little violet on my brush, but that's fine. So whenever you're using white, we've already talked about white being a weak color. So I'm gonna use mostly white, and then I'm gonna use just a little bit of black. And that little bit of black is gonna change it pretty drastically. So I've mixed that, and then now I'm gonna go and paint my mountains. And I have a little violet on my brush when I'm painting, because it wasn't completely cleaned out as well, but actually, I kind of like it. I think it makes it interesting. So notice I'm going really slow around every one of those houses. Okay, and painting that in. Then I just go back in here, kind of slow around the houses, and then paint the rest in. So I always like to go slow around my edges, just so I have a nice clean edge of my paint, okay? And the good news about painting is if you don't like something you painted, you just paint over it. And that's all you have to do. You just let it dry, paint over it, and no one will ever know. So I'm gonna pretend I finished all my mountains, okay? Then I'm gonna go to my water. So once again, I'm gonna go to my water here, sorry. Rinse it out, not splashing. I can kind of wipe on the edge, rinse out, and actually I think that my brush might be a little small, so I'm gonna choose a bigger brush. Okay, and for my water, I can do a couple things. I can paint it like a light blue, which would be obviously white with a little bit of blue, or I can make it kind of a turquoise, which is white, blue, and a little bit of green. I kind of like the turquoise idea. So I can mix it back on here, but on mine, since it's just me right now, I'm just gonna use this one. So I'm gonna mix some blue to that, add white, mix in my color, add a little more white to lighten it up. I'm liking that color a lot. And then I'll paint this. And like I did before, slow around the edge, slow around the boats, and then I can pick up my speed a little bit when I'm painting the large areas. And if you get a little bit on your table like I am, that's totally fine because we're gonna wipe the tables off, okay? And so then you'd paint the water, okay? So today we're gonna be painting our houses, primaries and secondaries, and boats primaries. That's everyone has to get to, and then hopefully we get to the mountains. You can do like a gray or a light violet would be fine. And then the water is kind of a light blue, and you could use a little bit of blue-green like I did. And then we're gonna stop there and we'll paint the snow and the sky next time.